Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm here at wait a minute, I'm not in Podcastro Valley, I'm in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. I know that's what you want. I'm here talking to you, and it's clear that I'm not eating pasta at the moment as I'm speaking to you here. Olive Garden's menu of pastas and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
endless breadsticks failed to keep the customers coming back
Mike's
this summer
Daily
with sales
Podcast.
wilting
Yeah!
at the Italian restaurant chain. Now the company plans to bring back some dishes it discontinued during the pandemic. I'm just playing around with the microphone a little bit there. Oh, okay. I think that's probably a good spot. So the company plans to bring back some dishes it discontinued during the pandemic to convince diners to return. They're bringing back its steak gorgonzola alfredo and stuffed chicken marsala, two dishes that it stopped serving during the pandemic, according to Ricardo Cardenas. He's the CEO of Olive Garden's parent company, Darden Restaurants. Yes, I think they also have, what's that one? Bahama 45 some, and what the other one? There was like a Tex-Mex one. Can't think of all the other ones. It's also expanding its never-ending pasta bowl offer by adding a new sauce called, garlic herb. Garlic herb as an option. So, what? They're expanding it. Fantastic. Well, I can't remember the last time I ate there.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It would appear that a lot of people go to the wonderful pseudo-Italian type restaurant known as Olive Garden to just, get the endless amount of carbs and deliciousness. I remember going to one in Huntsville, Alabama, and I remember my then wife did not want to go with me, but I met up with somebody that I had worked with at this place that, they had just let me go a few days prior. So it was one of those awkward things where he's trying not to be, trying to cheer me up, but he was doing an awful job. You know who could always cheer me up? The late great Basil the Boxer, just with that wonderful bark and running around and getting me out into the fresh air and walking all over Podcastro Valley. But the podcast picture today is not of him. No, we'll go with something from, what was that thing that I was at when I was walking around? And Niles, California. Not too far away from me here in Podcastro Valley, Mont. There's this wonderful little lake. What do they call this? It's next to, not next to Chowda. It's next to one of the quarry lakes there. The quarry lakes, that's what they call it. So this apparently was some hole they dug in the ground to get something out, some kind of amazing rock of some sort. And it filled up with water, and then they put fish in it, and it's wonderful. And then everybody, after they check that out, they go and they eat lots of pasta at.
Mike, you want to join in on this conversation? You can join in. You can.
You're too kind for asking me to join you in on the conversation. Thank you so much. So their Olive Garden is returning to dishes that will give guests another reason to visit the back half of the fiscal year. Because they want
all I want to do is sit on a couch and eat corn chips.
Maybe that person's not going to want to go eat pasta. Olive Garden blamed its sales slump on the sales softness that impacted the industry in July. What? So I guess restaurants had it bad in the month of July? Several restaurant chains have reported struggling and when they get mad, they drop everything that they're bringing to your table to attract inflation-weary customers this year, especially as restaurant prices have surged 28%. Why are they mad? We should be mad. Doggone it, here at Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley. It's okay to say doggone it. Dogs are okay with that.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. That's right. Since 2020, prices have surged 28%. That was prior to the pandemic, if we start at that point, prompting some to roll out savings promotions like McDonald's. They've got their $5 value meal. All of this from the folks over there at CBS News. They posted this.
They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
I don't think that guy likes CBS either. He definitely doesn't like ABC. Definitely doesn't like, the guy NBC because of Lester Holt, because he was saying that the reason why he gets shot at all the time is because of his rhetoric. So who knows? This is the type. I don't think he likes any kind of media because he didn't even like Fox News for a while. Well, what does he think about Olive Garden? I'm not sure. But the overall sales for Olive Garden, it dropped
Latina Uzi.
3%, just about 3%. That's amazing how she does that. And the company has also seen a rebound in the first 3 weeks of this month. So that is going on with Olive Garden. They added the garlic herb sauce this month. The $13.99 price, let's just call it $14 for the never-ending pasta bowl, hasn't changed since 2022.
If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. There's nothing like a wounded animal.
Oh, that'd be Maxine Waters. I don't know if she goes to Olive Garden either. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth, in the land of Ameritopica, podCastro Valley, Mont. The steak gorgonzola Alfredo was discontinued, and the stuffed chicken marsala dishes during the pandemic because it streamlined our menus to help simplify at Café Anyway. Simplify operations and ensure the highest level of execution to our guests. And they're also saying that they're bringing back those two dishes that will help the restaurant add more protein-based main courses. Both have been recast with higher quality ingredients and easier execution.
Oh, yes. I know all about how to spot microaggressions and root out privilege.
For the restaurant teams that want to root out microaggressions, it's easier to make. And that was what was going on with that outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth. You know what's happening in the month of July this past year? U.S. Chamber of Commerce data showed that 8.2 million jobs, there were 8.2 million job openings, rather, in the U.S. and only 7.2 million unemployed workers. To quote from the Chamber of Commerce report,
is a dish best served cold. You think about that.
That's not exactly what the Chamber of Commerce said, but they reported if every unemployed person in the country found a job, we would still have millions of open jobs, they said. A labor shortage is good news for workers because it forces up wages. Still, employers can't always pay them, or they're just unwilling to, especially if the shortage is temporary, as it was during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have a knight who say...
The result is that the businesses go understaffed, prices rise, consumers pay more for goods and services. But is the current labor shortage a temporary byproduct of the pandemic or a long-term factor involved that call for a societal course change? And there's a shortage for skilled labor. This is saying
I've fallen and I can't get up.
That is the person that may be having trouble on the job or just in life in general. That's from the Family Handyman. wrote this article. So that is what's happening with jobs. What? One other interesting thing you want? Okay.
He's nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
Okay. Here's something that that I think these people know something, actually. They're over there at the... Let's see, they are with NGPR, they're saying, and they're talking about, specifically, in the month of September, did you know, it is...
What in the world was that about?
I'll tell you what it is about. It is the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And they asked me here in this email that they sent to mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, 1 in 6 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer compared with 1 in 8 white men. Black men die from prostate cancer at twice.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way.
You shouldn't treat people that way, no. And I love the Sarah Huckabee quote. I will have it on the podcast at some point where she's like, you know, kids make you humble. And Kamala Harris is not humble. She kind of left out the part where she said Kamala doesn't have kids, but she does have kids. She has
All right, Mike, take care. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. She has stepkids, so I don't know what that was about. What was that all about? But yeah, it says here that black men are less likely to be covered by insurance, and black men are less likely to be enrolled in clinical trials. But they get cancer, prostate cancer. What? Prostate cancer at twice the rate of white men. So that is from, let's see, Charles D. Neblett, a PhD, a civil rights icon, and he has begun a new project to promote health equity.
What are you, nuts?
No, what is nuts about health equity? I think it's a good thing. So, and let's see, he himself was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer. And so this is a big issue, and Kwesi Neblett has also created a panel of community leaders to talk about black prostate cancer.
The fact that they were correcting everything and not correcting with her.
When you look at the fact that they were correcting me on everything and not correcting her, it can mean only one of two things. Either they were biased against me, or I was just saying insane things that were wrong. Oh, God. Oh, is that it? Oh, no. Oh, did I say more factually untrue things? Oh, I owe a lot of people a lot of apologies.
Going back to the debate there, yes. Okay. Because, you know, he won. He won. I won. And wait, didn't Trump have a bunch of kids? He's got a bunch of kids. They're all grown up. And kids are supposed to make you humble, right? So that didn't work, Sarah. But, interesting thing about the word Sarah, about the name Sarah, Stevie Nicks. So she had a really good friend. Well, she had a friend by the name of Sarah. I don't have the last name, but she was very close to her. She wrote that song, Sarah, and then that was a huge hit. I think that was on Rumors. And then years later, she put a song on Tango in the Night, which she didn't really have any big songs with. She was on the outs with the band. The band basically did a whole album without her. And then at the last minute, she contributed 2 songs, one of them being The Rainbow's Edge, a 7 Wonders is what it was called. And then she did another song called Welcome to the Room, Sarah. So she was really fascinated with Sarah. And I was really fascinated watching the Stevie Nicks thing, because I forgot about all the duets. She did a duet with Kenny Loggins, with Whenever I Call You Friend. She did the Don Henley song, Leather and Lace, and the Tom Petty song called Stop Dragging My Heart Around. That was Nilly the Horse, so that must mean Benita's here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How are y'all doing? All that stuff was fascinating.
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
Stevie Nicks was great. She sang with that cool voice. It sounded like she was a goat.
Yeah, it had that interesting vibrato thingy. Is that what the word is? Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer hash right now.
Well, we shall partake in some root beer now. Oh, wow. What is that? What is in that?
Mike, I put some delicious Coke Zero in my root beer. Oh, boy.
Why would you do that? Coke Zero? What? And why? What is the difference between Diet Coke and Coke Zero? Why do we have two? Isn't there some kind of redundancy thing going on? I don't get why there's two. Well, does Zero have zero caffeine? Is that what it is? Why is this so difficult for me to understand? Because I didn't go to a major university? I mean, I guess I could have gone to some. Well, I did go to a university, just not on the East Coast. Does that not matter? I guess there's Stanford over here in California. And we got all our cool USC and UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, UC Berkeley, which is just called Cal, and all of that stuff. So, I don't know. It's confusing. What do you think? You should call me at this number. Here you go.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with all things pertaining to Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.